Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues. With this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 8 of the anime series Shokugeki no Soma. And what a badass episode. We're finally having answered for us who these two guys are who go all the way back to the earliest portion of the series and have had a just hot nut to go after Soma, And we find that these guys are very much on par. At least one of them, Takumi of the two brothers, Takumi and Isami Aldini, respectively, Italian, coming up here with Italian flavor. Very much thought I wasn't going to like these two. And I really love them by the end of this episode as far as rivals go for Soma and everything like that. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Essentially, we're finding that the entirety of this Culinary Academy are going to have like a, camp period where they're going for a week, about 6 days, 5 nights, to this Totsuki resort, air quotes camp. But it looks like a posh resort situation. And during that course, that period of time, they're going to have all of these different culinary tasks to be performed. And the first day out, they're looking at the surroundings of this little farm, basically Soma and Megumi. They are paired together with some other people, from around the academy. In this one little area, it's almost like farmland to a point. There's a brook, there's hills, there's probably, like a garden with vegetables and everything like that. You see in one shot, there are mushrooms and, so basically they can choose anything ingredients-wise from these surroundings, and almost everybody, even Soma and Megumi, they automatically sort of knee-jerk react to the idea of looking for fish, going fishing and using that for their dish. Lo and behold, we find out that the Aldini boys, they've looked around and they found other meat that can be utilized. Rabbits, in the case of the dish they're going to be preparing, duck. And I love the step-by-step process that we get into, looking at their preparation of their meal. This duck dish that is taken from sort of an Italian staple, and they modify all of the ingredients and they play around with it, basically creating a Japanese version of this particular Italian dish. And it's incredible what they've substituted, the way they've done so, and it just gobsmacks, everybody in the class. Soma is just, he's my hero in this series because he's always laid back. He's got a very Spike Spiegel reaction to things, like he just doesn't care. He's just going to do whatever he can do and whatever he has to do to rise to the challenge and make sure he can try to win, the day and everything. And everyone is very much their future in the academy is up for grabs now. One guy is already sent packing. As soon as they arrive, they're brought forth in front of, sort of the leader of this Totsuki resort. And all of these Japanese culinary alumnus from this particular scenario, the best of the best of the best, the elites that are actually out there in the world, they own their own restaurants and everything like that. They are just primo chefs. They are going to be the judges, essentially. And one guy smells some sort of fruity shampoo on this one cat and sends him packing just for that. Forget cooking. I mean, if you have things that can obstruct the culinary process, even down to aromas, bye-bye. It's that on edge. And but you got Soma in there like, all right, well, we'll just do what we have to do, And I love his attitude amidst all of this. Now, they end up with this sort of cute-voiced, particular master, culinary master, Inui, who is going to be the judge for Soma and Megumi, as well as all the people they're sidled up with, the Aldini boys as well. And she's almost aloof. She's almost comedically, like, not really mentally there. She's not even giving them all of the rules and regulations as far as what they need to do until they prompt her to, and everything like that. Everybody in this little, test subject situation is like, wait a minute, we only have 2 hours and you're only just telling us we're already ready to start and everything. Just absolutely hilarious, that particular character. And I love the back and forth between Takumi and Soma in this episode. There's that one point where, he's basically asking this judge, Inui, will you use your supreme judgment or whatever it is to put to the test who can create a better dish here? And she's like, well, that's not really my task, so I don't really care. And You know, there's a great follow-up where Soma, they're all coming back at the same time after going fishing, and you know, basically the Aldini boys have whatever they're going to be preparing. We don't know at that point. But Soma stops everything to just get a jab in at Takumi for making this grand request of Inui earlier, and I busted out laughing. I thought it was mad funny because, you know, Soma's standing there, he extends his hand, and he's like, please, you know, just completely rifling off the same thing Takumi said earlier, getting, like I say, a jab in at him. But I love getting to know these two brothers and how just exquisitely, you know, primped they are to this task of creating a dish. We see them pull out this Italian-friendly, so to speak, you know, double-handed knife that's rounded. I forget what they called it, but I've seen these in action, and they are very hard to sort of, you know, deal with. Usually in pizza preparation as well, you'll see something along those lines. Sometimes, not in all cases, to slice the sucker up and everything like that. But they're using this almost machine-like super speed, you know, and then they pass it off between each other. And I just love that. I love that we have an actual legitimate match that is very much in a similar background to Soma. I mean, they made an emphasis on pointing that out, the fact that, and even Megumi says, she, you know, basically I'm echoing in my mind what she says, that, you know, Takumi especially heavily reminds her of Soma, because it all basically revolves around the fact that Takumi and Isami, respectively, they're coming from having a family restaurant. They're coming from that idea of, you know, wanting to preserve the sanctity of that restaurant that they work in. So, I mean, to see these two guys and their brothers, and they're coming in, and they call them twins, and even Soma's like, well, they don't really resemble each other. Yeah, pretty much. But, you know, they're coming in here from a very similar place to where Soma's coming from. I mean, this is different than anything he's encountered before, where you look at, like, Arina, you look at the Meat Master, you look at, you know, Satoshi. All of these people who he has gone up against, they aren't coming from a similar place to him. So to have somebody so well placed, so matched, you know, almost at the opposite end of the spectrum, kind of an elitist version of Soma, this is going to be a throwdown to match all throwdowns. You know, the next episode, we leave off with a cliffhanger where we don't even know what Soma's going to do as yet. And so I'm just stoked. I'm really at the edge of my seat to figure out what exactly he's going to try to bring to the table. I mean, we already know he kind of just got relegated to, you know, producing a fish dish. And that's what everyone else is doing. So how is Soma going to try to match this just genius level duck, you know, dish that they prepared using something everyone else is already using? And or is there going to be a sequence where he gets to go out and get some other kind of meat or something like that? Will he talk this Judge Inui into letting him do that? You know, I can't wait to see how this is going to play out. And of course, Megumi's nerves are just completely racked because of the entirety of this. At one point, you know, it's like calling back to that scene from the Christopher Reeve Superman where Lois Lane dies. Sorry, spoiler alert. And he screams up at the sky, and you have one of their Polar Dorm mates, when Megumi passes out cold, screaming her name like that because she's, air quotes, on her deathbed, just from the nerve-wracking nature of this entire affair. This series is just balls to the wall hilarious. And that's another thing too, the dream sequences, as I've said, are some of my favorite parts in this episode. We have no less than the Judge Inui believing she is being embraced by a duck mask wearing aria singer, you know, in a concerto, which is just absolutely hilarious. Again, I was busting out laughing. And so yeah, I mean, this was an awesome balls to the wall episode. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of episode 8 of Shokugeki no Soma, or Food Wars Shokugeki no Soma, if you've seen it, and what you expect to happen next. What do you think the sort of, you know, card up Soma's sleeve will be, if any? And so yeah, that'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.